This is exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the spotlight on once again in Bangladesh. Just about 6 days ago, the interim government in Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, the poster boy of the West, essentially said that this was an exaggerated claim by India and others. And India should come out of the narrative that Hindus were not being attacked. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, for the first time ever, those who have been persecuted in Bangladesh are now ready to speak out, to talk about the atrocities that they have been facing over the last 40 days since the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. There is a deliberate attempt that has been made by Muhammad Yunus and the others, particularly the radicals in Bangladesh, to try and suppress the fact that minorities are being targeted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not what we are saying, but those who are operating out of Bangladesh, those Hindu, Buddhist and other minority groups who have been operating in Bangladesh have been saying that 200 attacks have taken place. In fact, those attacks have already been documented by these groups. So how exactly can Muhammad Yunus really say that this is an exaggerated claim? And tonight, after the testimony that we are going to put out in a short while from now, can Muhammad Yunus still deny that Hindus are being targeted in Bangladesh? All this and much more on this edition of This Is Exclusive. But up first, let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Illegal structure.
Call themselves as leaders in India, and they move around with anti-India elements abroad and then speak against India. They spell out venom against the interest of India.
Meanwhile, BJP hits out at Rahul Gandhi, calls his meet with Ilhan Omar an attempt to divide India.
जल्द से जल्द इंडिया आना चाहिए और पूरे सिख समाज से माफी मांगनी चाहिए कि जो इन्होंने बोला वो गलत था.
Anger against Rahul's subversive remarks. Sikh community stage protest against Rahul, demands his apology. Bangladesh interim government, caretaker government's Muhammad Yunus's bluff is called out as innocent victims of persecution speak out against the atrocities.
Presented by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Pado kuch bano.
Well, in fact, we're starting with some more breaking news now coming in. A story that we have brought to the limelight. What's really happening in Manipur? In fact, ladies and gentlemen, from drone attacks to rockets being fired, now protests taking place outside Raj Bhavan. Was there a foreign hand? Were there certain elements that were working against the state? It turns out that the foreign hand in the students' protest, as well as the protests that have been taking place in other places, have essentially indicated that there are antisocial elements, and this is something that the Manipur police has now come on record. Certain weaponry was also recovered by the Manipur police. Here is an exclusive report coming in from Imphal, and then we go to our top story coming in from Bangladesh.
Public TV reported last evening itself that the students' protest were hijacked. Several antisocial elements entered the students' protest and they tried to hijack the students' protest for their vested interest. And today, the Manipur Police Conference has come on record with all the evidence of the weapons, indigenous weapons that were used in the students' protest. Here you can see this one is a petrol bomb, these are slingshots, and these are marbles, stones, and even iron pebbles were also used. These are iron pieces. You can see if used with a slingshot, but if you use a slingshot with an iron, then it can turn into a projectile which can gain a speed that can easily be achieved by any bullet. So this can turn into a bullet if it is targeted with a slingshot like this one. This can turn into a bullet, and these are the instruments which were used last evening and also day before yesterday in the violent protest that we witnessed in the streets of Imphal. It may be mentioned that today Minister Govindas Kanthojam has exclusively spoken to Republic Media Network, where he also confirmed the involvement of various political groups and one particular national political party who had tried to influence the students' protest for their own benefit. And today the police have come on record saying that there was external involvement in the students' protest, and police is now investigating the case. A case has been registered, and all the involvement of various groups, various parties are being looked into.
We have also observing the situation since the day before yesterday. Honorable Chief Minister is very concerned about it, and from different sources it has been noticed that, as you have rightly mentioned, that some national party and some regional parties are deeply involved in instigating the peaceful rally organized by the different student bodies in the state of Manipur. They wanted to hijack the peaceful rally by a few people, few volunteers, I should say, few volunteers who are the front runner of the national party and the workers in the last 18 Lok Sabha election also.
Ladies and gentlemen, early this afternoon, there was chaos on the streets of Shimla. The reason being an illegal structure because of which Hindu groups have been protesting. A call was actually given back on Saturday that protest will take place, hoping that action should be taken. But what we essentially saw was a major escalation between the protesters and the Himachal Pradesh police. Joining us is Minister Vikramaditya Singh. Minister Singh, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, isn't this a failure on the part of the state government because you have the Hindu group already calling for the protest on Saturday? Was there an attempt made by your government to perhaps bring them on the negotiating table?
This is not a failure, rather this is a proactive approach that the government has taken. And the way this protest has been handled with heavy police presence on the area shows that the government will not tolerate any compromise with the law and order situation. There have been efforts by the government to have constant dialogues with the people who wanted to protest. But because it is a democratic right of everybody in this country to protest and the government cannot stop that, so that was done. But there were ample measures taken from the side of the government, the administration and the police to ensure that law and order situation should not deteriorate in Himachal Pradesh.
Minister Singh, I believe that being part of the government, it is your job to perhaps safeguard or defend the action of the police. But I want you to perhaps see these images. I'm hoping that you've seen this, because what we saw this afternoon doesn't really match the statement that you're making right now. What I witnessed from the newsroom of Republic TV was this, that there was a major escalation, the fact that police officers were also injured, the fact that you have had some of the protesters on the road, clearly a situation where barricades were broken, 2 sets of barricades were already broken. They were almost few meters away from the illegal structure. So, Minister, how exactly are you saying that this was a job well done?
No, so what else do you expect? There was police on the police on the premises. Every preventive measure was taken, and water cannon was used on the protesting people, And the Chief Minister went to the extent of saying that everybody has a peaceful right to protest. You cannot stop anybody from protesting, and it is not the first time in the country that a protest has happened. It happens in every part of the country for one reason or the other. Yes, these images that you are showing with large number of people, these are shown on a number of occasions from every part of the country, whether it is Manipur, whether it is in Delhi, or whether it is any other part of the country. But by the end of it,
are you justifying the use of force? Minister Singh, are you also justifying the use of force that the police had to resort to lathi charge?
There was stone pelting from the protesters, and because of that there was mild lathi charge from the side of the police. This is a very common thing which happens in every protest all through the country. Water cannons and lathi charge are the force that the police uses in
barricades
protest all through the country. This is not the first time it has happened, but we have to maintain the larger law and order condition in the country, in the state. That is the job of the government.
As I understand, our reporters on the ground, this is what they had to say. You had 2 levels of barricades which were broken. There was a high possibility, or perhaps you had the opportunity of blocking the protest at the tunnel itself, but it went way beyond that. That could also be because there were no attempts made by your government to at least bring the protesting groups on the negotiating table and avoid the protest in the first place itself, because as I understand, the matter is sub judice.
No, we have tried to speak to them. We have tried to bring them on the negotiation table. But ultimately, it depends upon these people. If they want to have this symbolic protest, you cannot stop anybody. And I would like to remind you again that this is not the first time this kind of protest is happening in any part of the country. It is a very usual process. Lathi charge and water cannon happens in every protest all through the country. You see these kind of visuals every second day in Delhi, in the national capital. So yes, it has been played out for the first time in Himachal Pradesh and in Shimla. I agree to that, but yes, the government and the police has taken a firm stand on it. We don't want that the deterioration of law and order should happen in the state, but at the same time, as far as the legality of the structure is concerned, as you rightly said, that this matter is sub judice, whatever the decision of the court is, accordingly the government will take a call in the times to come. But we will not allow anybody, for that matter, to deteriorate the law and order condition in the state, and nobody for that matter is above the law.
Minister Singh, would you not admit that your party colleague is equally responsible for triggering the situation? Had it not been for the statement that was made, and the statement in the manner it was made by your party colleague, perhaps we would not have seen the situation like this. And you yourself are admitting that this has not happened in the past. We can't perhaps even remember the last when such kind of protests have actually taken place in Himachal Pradesh. So who exactly is to be blamed for it? Shouldn't it be your party colleague?
No, I don't see it that way. There are sentiments of the people, and this structure that is in question today. The legality of this structure and the case has been going on in the municipal committee and the municipal corporation for the last 10 years. There have been successive governments. The BJP government was there in the last 5 years, headed by Jairam Thakurji. When this structure actually came up, this was built during the COVID period when BJP was in power in the state. So today, why aren't they answerable towards it? We are taking every preventive measure, and we have gone to the extent of saying that if tomorrow this structure is found to be invalid, or there are some shortcomings in it, so action will be taken according to the law. We have gone to that extent. For the sake of the communal harmony in the state. So what else do you expect the government to do? But yes, as far as the alleged high-handedness that you're talking about, the police will do its job. The police will use coercive measures, will use soft measures, so that the law and order situation does not deteriorate, and that is what rightly the police has done today.
Minister Singh, the other issue being that we are not talking about an isolated illegal structure. A short while back, there was few protesters with whom we spoke to. They say that there are several other illegal structures in that very area. I want to understand your position on this entire matter. Are you in favor of demolition of illegal encroached structures?
See, it is not about me as an individual. It is the government which has to take a call. And let me tell you that in Shimla alone, there are around 4,500 illegal structures built over the period of time. And this story is not only limited to Shimla. It is in Himachal Pradesh and all through the country that over the period of time, structures have been built, or part of it has been built which have not been approved by the municipal committee or the municipal corporation. But yes, in this particular case, it has been highlighted because of the reasons that you know better than me. But yes, we are very sensitive towards the sentiments of the people. We are very sensitive toward the sentiments of the people of the state, and due action will be taken, as I have repeatedly said, but everything will be done in accordance with the law. Because
I'm running out of time, Minister Singh, but I just want a quick word.
And the rule of the municipal corporation in this particular case is beyond and above everybody else.
Just a quick word from you, Minister Singh. Will you be reaching out to the protesting groups? Is there a message that your government would be sending out to them? Because what we see right now is extremely, perhaps a big cause of concern for many of us who are watching this from the national capital.
100%. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but I want to assure you, and I want to assure through your channel, that we are open for all kind of dialogues. We are open for all kind of negotiations. We want to bring everybody on the dialogue table and solve this matter amicably. We should not do any kind of politics over it. I even appeal to the members of the opposition party that this is a very sensitive issue. This is regarding the integrity of the state and the harmony of the state, and for that everybody has to come on board and an amicable solution has to be found, so that the larger tranquility, the peace in the state is not disturbed at any cost. That is my humble appeal through your channel to the people of state and to the people of the nation also.
Well, thank you very much, Minister Singh, and you were speaking to Shavan Sen for your future reference, but thank you very much for putting this into perspective and hoping that the government will also be able to bring this under control. Thank you very much. Moving on to the other big story that we're getting to you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on This Is Exclusive, we come to you with proof. And this proof is something that we want Mohammed Yunus to perhaps watch. Just about 6 days ago, you've had the caretaker government in Bangladesh saying that, look here, the attacks that have taken place on the Hindus are completely exaggerated in nature. In fact, several minority groups operating out of Bangladesh have clearly documented the attacks that have taken place against the minorities, particularly in districts like Chittagong and several other places. The effort that we are making tonight is to reach out to those Hindus who have been persecuted, who are essentially fearful of the current situation in Dhaka and several other places. In a short while from now, we'll essentially be joined by those victims. We are not taking the name of those who have been persecuted. We are not even revealing their identity, because remember, it is they who are now being threatened, and the fact that their voices haven't been even heard. In fact, there are a few districts where this has taken place. I want to first begin by asking you, what really happened just about a few days ago in your area when a Hindu deity was being taken to the pandal, and the kind of atrocities that you have seen over the last few days? Help us understand, narrate what you have seen.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
I just don't want you to reveal your name.
Sir, actually,
I just don't want you to reveal your name. Don't reveal your name. All that I want you to is narrate what you have gone through.
Okay, sir. Sir, as for after escaping our former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, there are a huge number of communal attacks happening in our whole country, around the whole country. I am in Borishal district. Here, there are a number of communal attacks. in our Hindu families. Besides of my village, some Hindu communities were directly victimed by the fundamental Islamic terrorists. Their houses was destroyed. Their properties was taken by the groups. And the major abominable thing is their daughters were abused in front of her mother. I have no word to express how much abominable it was. And one more thing, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay. And one more thing, sir, I can add you. On 5th August night, some local Hindus and Muslims, ensurely good Muslims, were set up a local protection guard who protect our Hindu communities until now in every single night. And we don't know how it will stop and when the country was peaceful for the Hindu communities.
I also understand that you have with you.
We are so much afraid. There was no law. The police don't take our case. There was no BD army. There was
Can
no
you tell me?
justice.
Can you tell me how many such incidents have taken place in the last 30 to 40 days?
Sir, actually, in our communities, actually in our villages, as far 50 or 60 incidents, that was clearly communal, not political. I repeat, that was clearly communal, not political. The Hindus was not involved. Those Hindus were not involved in the political parties, but they are attacked. Their houses, their properties, as well as their daughters was abused by the fundamental groups.
I also believe that you have with you someone who is a victim,
Yes, sir.
someone who has witnessed the atrocity firsthand. Why don't you speak to her and perhaps also help us understand what the person had to go through?
Okay, sir.
আমি একজন বাংলাদেশী সনাতনী, আমার একটি অফিস গৃহ আছে, আমি একজন গ্রাম্য শিক্ষক।
Sir, he told that he was a Bangladeshi Sanatani village teacher.
আমার একটি সমিতি একটি অফিস ছিল, সেটি ওই দিন রাত্রে 5ই আগস্ট।
He had an office room in this village where he lived.
ভেঙে চুরে চুরমার করে লুটপাট করে নিয়ে যায়।
On 5th August midnight, his office room was attacked by the fundamental groups.
আমি কয়েকদিন আত্মগোপনে ছিলাম আমার পরিবার পরিজন নিয়ে।
He left his own houses with his family members because the fundamental groups threatened him and his family as well as.
এর কোনো প্রতিকার বা কোনো বিচার আমি পাইনি।
There was no justice for this incident. Sir, actually, there are a huge number of incidents like it.
Well, I'll also request you to stay on with us. We have another student who's joining us from Bangladesh. In fact, over the last few days, we have been in touch with him to actually find out what's really happening on the ground, because for the longest time, ladies and gentlemen, Mohammed Yunus and his government has only been trying to whitewash the atrocities that have been committed by Islamic fundamentalists, radicals who have been operating there. And now they blame India for carrying out this kind of a narrative. I'm told that he's also joined us on this broadcast. Shabal Ghosh, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. I want you to help us understand what is it that you witnessed over the last few days, because the government in Bangladesh wants the world to believe that Hindus are not being targeted. Is that correct?
Actually, it's a political view that someone will try to establish that at least minorities are not getting harmed by the nation. It's a beneficial thought for them, but I don't think that happens in any time in the under any government of Bangladesh. It was always there that Hindus, the people who lives beside the mountain, that kind of area people, they are also the minor in the minorism. And yeah, in every internal works or internal incident those happens in Bangladesh, uh, breaking Hindus temple, harming peoples, robbing them, it's became it just became modern violence. It was a ancient violence before, but it was always been there. It's still happening.
Shahbal, just
This is
so that this
yeah.
is documented well, which are the areas from where this violence has been reported from? You are telling us, and I've also gone through certain reports that have come in from minority groups that are operating out of Bangladesh, that not just temples, there are other symbols of religion which are now being attacked. Just about a few days ago, a Ganesh Pandal which was attacked.
That is the more important thing. See, they didn't rob only Hindus family or any Hindus house or shops. They also broke. They are breaking the seasons, the dargahs. We call him in madrasa, and it's not only happening to Sheikh Mujib also. Forget about Sheikh Mujib. There were some other intellectual people who did a tremendous contribution in this country, but still their monument also been broken.
Well, Shahbal,
It's a very shame.
Well, Shahbal, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. We will be in touch with you for documenting the kind of atrocities that have been committed by the Islamic radicals in Bangladesh. That's all that we could pack. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time with more exclusive stories.